Welcome everyone. This is Farming Sim Niagara Fats, and I'm here on the channel with a brand new challenge by Mr. Zorch Farming. Here I come, Mr. Zorch. This is the Triple Threat Challenge, and it is on Wally Zabi. I have no idea how to pronounce it, nor am I going to. So we're just going to call it Wally Zabi or Wally or Zabi, kind of the same thing that Zorch is. So we're getting started. I just went through all of the crops. We're on the map. We're going to go over to the random. Let's bring it over here. Through the power of editing, we'll get rid of all the other stuff we don't need and just show you the wheel. But this is the first part of the challenge, which is to decide our fields. So if you're not familiar with this challenge, it'll be in the description. Watch Zorch's so you can get a better idea of what the explanation is, but I'm going to try to go through and explain it as best I can. With the best detail that I have of remembering everything that is involved. But it's three challenges, three threats, and we are looking at the first threat. So the first threat is you put in all of the fields, and you're going to randomize them, which a lot of people do offline, but I wanted to throw this in here real quick while I'm explaining it. So this, like I said, through the power of editing, will be in some way, shape, or form displayed on the screen, the wheel, this random wheel of names that I put in here. So one thing that I did do is I went through all of the crops, deselected them all, and made sure that each of these crops was on here because that part of the challenge, when you get that, is you have to end up purchasing those fields. You don't purchase them right away, but eventually you'll have to purchase those fields and you'll have to uh, you can harvest what's there at the time because obviously it could be a couple years before you get to it, a couple seasons. But you'll write down what those fields are, and then you will have to purchase those fields, and you'll have to plant that crop and harvest that crop. And I believe another part of that is that you can't just sell that crop. You'll have to process that crop into some form of thing. So if you get a grain, you can make flour. If you get potatoes, you'll have to do whatever there is for potatoes and so forth and so on. So, with that said, let's take a look here. So, for instance, potatoes, you would have to purchase, it looks like fields 61, 36, 142, 167, 186, and 189. Oh, and don't forget 98 over here. So, you'd have to purchase eventually to finish the threat or to finish the challenge. You would have to purchase every one of those fields, plant potatoes in each one of those fields. So you'll have to go on your own honor system and keep track of it on a notebook. And at some point, plant and harvest that crop and then eventually process it into whatever there is to process. So if you get potatoes, good luck. So I went through and so there are crops that are not on this field. For instance, sorghum, there is no sorghum anywhere in this map. No sorghum whatsoever. So maybe in this part of the world, which is Poland, there is no sorghum. There's no grapes. There's no olives. There's no red beets. There's no carrots. There's no parsnips. There's no green beans. There's no peas. Basically, no vegetables. There are sugar beets. So if we get down here, we can look at this. Got all kinds of new crops. There's no alfalfa. Obviously, no oilseed radish. They do have grass, but I didn't throw grass in there because the only thing you can do on that is silage, and everybody sees that. So I didn't even go with those, and I wasn't going to do alfalfa or clover anyhow. There is no green rye. There is no vetch rye, which I don't even know what those are. There's no mustard cover crop. The only thing that was in here that I did not add, and where is it here? Hopefully this is not going too fast for anyone. But the only crop that's in here that I didn't keep on the mustard. Mustard is the only one that I didn't keep on here, and we're gonna have mustard over here. But I did watch a couple episodes of Zorch doing this already, and there is nothing you can process with mustard. So he couldn't find a any product to do mustard. There is flax, there is buckwheat, there is poppy, which is I think what Zorch got. There is millet. There is no lavender, which I think lavender is the coolest one. I don't know what it is about lavender, but I like it. There are lentils and there are beans. So I have put down my list. All right, there we go. So we got the wheel back up. So I came up with that there are 18 crops: wheat, barley, canola, oat, corn, sunflower, soybeans, potatoes, sugar beets, rye, spelt, triticale, flax, buckwheat, poppy, millet, lentil, and bean. So we're going to spin the wheel, and whatever I get is what we're going to get. So please don't be potatoes, and please don't be sugar beets, but if we get them, we will figure it out. So let's hit the wheel, and randomly we have gotten potatoes. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So let's close this. Let's close this. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. So potatoes. So let me go back up here to potatoes, and we are going to write down the field that have the potatoes. 61, 36, 142, 98, 189, 186, and 167. All right. So we have potatoes. Oh my goodness. We have potatoes. You've got to be kidding me. All right. Well, let's back out of here. Let's select them all. All right. So let's go to the map. Let's go to the other part of the challenge. The other part of the challenge is that we go to field 222. This is Zorch's rules now. We're following Zorch. So he wants us to go to field 222, which is the starting farm. You buy the starting farm, which I already bought it for that price. You buy a field 38 and you buy a field 44. Now, I didn't have enough money to buy field 38 and 44. I have to purchase 44 yet, which looks like it has. What does it have in it? I can't tell what crop that is. Is it buckwheat? No. Is it flax? No. What is it? Let's go visit it real quick. It's rye. Okay, rye. So we have bought field 222. It has all these buildings and things on it. Now, according to Zorch's rules, you go to construction. Now, you're going to get rid of every single thing here. You're going to sell it all, including the fence. And then you are going to use that money to purchase the other two fields, which are here and here. So let's go ahead but we have to keep one thing. So I can keep one of the barns. I can't have the house. I have to put a house down. So that's another rule. You got to sell the house and then put a house down. So hopefully we will get a little cheaper of a house down than what he's got here, or what's already there. But I'm going to do the same thing that Zorch did. I want to keep this. I think this is a valuable tool, and that's just what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sell these. I'm going to sell this. Sell this. Now can I sell the fence? Yep. Oh, good. Okay, we can sell the fence. Sell this. Sometimes you just got to destroy fence, so I'm kind of glad we can do that. All right, sell the house. It's a $90,000 house. Let's remember that. All right, let's go back to the field menu. We don't want to go to harvest. We want to go over to the field. It is $114,643. So we're going to buy that, and we have $167,000 left. Now, I already took care of the loan because I'm doing my loan. I'm doing the enhanced loan system. So what I did was I already took care of the loan before I did anything else, and I got it to $150,000, which is what you originally start with 250, and then he wants you to pay back 100,000 of the loan. So what he's doing different is he's using the base game loan system. I wanted to enhance it a little bit. I wanted to break out my payments, but when you start with a loan in the game, it has it for 36 months, which your payment is ridiculous. So I'm at 1,085 because I have 15-year loan. I have a 15-year loan, which is 180 months, and it is going to take 1,085 every month. So it's going to take that, and it's going to calculate the interest at 3.5%, and that's where we're at. So every year, starting in January, so it's going to be, we're starting in August on this. We're not starting in spring or anything. We're starting in August, and every year, the second part of this challenge, the threat, the triple threat, is that you are going to do a randomizer like we just did. You're going to have a yes or no, so it's going to be a 50-50 or a coin flip. So if it's yes, then you can pay off up to all of the amount of the loan you have. So if you have whatever the monthly payment that comes out, you're going to have so much left, and then you can pay it all off if you have the money to pay it off. Whatever you want to do, you can pay as much of it up to all of it. Now, if it says no, that means you can't pay any of the loan off. You just keep paying the monthly payment. You can't do a special redemption. I have it set up so that you can do special redemptions. If it doesn't allow you to do that, if it says no, then you also have to randomize whether you have to take out another $100,000. So if it's no, you can't pay it back. Plus, there is a chance that you could have to take out $100,000 more. Now, the only caveat is on this, I might not be able to take out 100,000 depending on how much money I have as a total value of my farm is what this loan system does. So it'll probably most likely I will because of the land that I own and everything. It'll probably allow me to take 100,000. Now you get that influx of cash of $100,000, but you also have a second loan out. So this will keep track of each loan that I have. So the 150, it won't add to the 150. It'll just be another loan that I have. So if it happens every year, I'll just continue to keep uh, accruing loans, and it'll be whatever interest rate because it's a fluctuating interest. I think I got it set for a fluctuating interest rate. If I don't, I'll make sure I do. But I'm pretty sure that's the default. I guess I didn't look at that to make sure. But should be a fluctuating interest rate, so it could go up, could go down, and that 100,000 will be based on whatever interest rate is out there. And then the next year, the next time in January, when January rolls around before it starts the month, you do another randomizer, yes or no. If it's yes, you can pay off both loans if you want. If not, if it says no, you have to hold. And then there's also the possibility that you had to have to take out another 100,000. Now again, you get that cash, $100,000, you can do with whatever you want, but you accrue another loan, more interest, things like that, and you can't pay it off until the end of the year when you do that randomizer. So that's number two. That's threat number two. So we were all set. We were left with $400,000, which is what he wanted, and then you had to purchase all of those buildings, which I did. I showed you all, or purchase that 222, this land right here, and then you had to, again, sell everything. So we're gonna have to put down a house. But let me randomize and select the animal, and then I will come back and I will let you know what we got and what my we'll just go ahead and decide what ours is going to be from there. All right, welcome back in everybody. And so on the random whatever it's called, random wheel spin, I forgot that there was pigs. So what I did was I actually separated out for beef cattle and for dairy cattle. So I actually had that in there as well, but then I forgot that there was pigs. Um, So I think for pigs, I think the 250 is a good solid number. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure that some pig farmers have more than that, but we got pigs of all things. So we got pigs and potatoes. But actually, I believe pigs eat potatoes, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go down here to the help menu because I don't know a lot about pigs. So I'm going to do a lot of online looking about pigs. I think I've done one time I did pigs, and that was when I took on this triple threat challenge just offline by myself a year or so ago when Zorch did this, or when their game kind of first came out. I decided to do it, and I got pigs, and I remember doing them, and I only had a few, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of cheated in the food because I didn't really know. I just bought pig. I didn't really cheat it in. I just bought pig food because I didn't really know how to raise pigs or do pigs on this. So base is either corn or sorghum, grains either wheat or barley, protein soybeans, canola or sunflowers, and root crops potatoes or sugar beets. Okay, so they do eat potatoes, but it doesn't look like it's their base food. So they use corn or sorghum. And this map didn't even have sorghum on it, but wouldn't that be funny if I started planting some sorghum? Be the first one to have it in here. Okay, so we are going to go back to the map here, and we are going to go back into construction, and we're probably going to put a house in the exact same spot that that house was, which was, I believe, right over, where was it? Oh my, I guess I didn't pay attention very well. Where was that house? I thought it was right here on the, yeah, it was. It was right here because there's a little flower garden right here. Oh, yeah, it's kind of nice. Little flower garden. So we will put the house right there. So let's go take a look at our houses. We got to place a house, which means we're not going to be left with a whole lot of money. And he doesn't want you to place a little cheapy house. I think he said he wanted it to be, let me go refer back to the rules again. Um, and then there was side goals. And why don't I see the side goals? Because they're not in, I think it's don't pick up any collectibles. Yeah, so that's the only side goal. I think he had side goals because he had side goals in the other one where he's just trying to build the cat or the temple. So there's no picking up of any collectibles, he said. We got the animals. Threat 2 is the loan. Random crop takeover. Remaining loan. Contracts. Um, Sorry, bear with me. I'll have to probably edit most of this out. Okay. Farmhouse must be removed. Must purchase adjacent fields. Remaining balance. Economy hired. Precision farming. Yes, I have precision farming. I'm doing pretty much everything he has except for the loan. I am using a little bit different of a loan. Keep track. I know he wanted you to use. Well, we're just going to look for a $50,000 house. Pretty sure it was supposed to be a $50,000 and above house. So what's this one look like? How's that fit there? And where is the triggers? So the sleep trigger is that side. So that must be the back and this must be the front. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I like that house. That's a pretty nice house. Can we change anything on this house? Change the color. What color does it change to? Brown? Oh, it changed, I think, the siding colors that are over here. Yeah. I guess that's okay. I went with like a tan color. So let's place that. All right, I kind of like it right about there. Okay, we got it. It's placed. Okay, so potato production. I cannot purchase I cannot purchase a side production of. I could purchase one, but it doesn't count. You have to purchase the one that's already existing. So I hope there is some. Okay, so good. So we have a potato processing plant, which is, where is it at? All the way up here. Let's go to the map, see where we're at now. It is up here. So we actually have to purchase that. And to purchase that, it costs $360,000. So any of that potato processing that we need done has to be purchased before we can do it, before we can consider the challenge completed. So that is it doesn't say it in his rules, but I know that is what he had talked about on his challenge. So I did remember that. I don't think there's any other rules that there were. So right now we can get to harvesting our mustard and our rye that we have. And I don't think there's any rules about episodes that he had, just those particular challenges. So this probably will be a slightly longer episode, except that I can edit out a bunch of the nonsense. So what I'm seeing and happening will probably be taken care of in some of the editing. But let's go ahead and let's go to used equipment and see what we got. That is not what I was looking for. Okay, used equipment. So in used equipment, we're going to need a harvester. That's the first thing. But what caught my eye is this 63% off John Deere tractor that we're going to buy it. I already looked at it before I went on to recording. And so it's a 4240. So it's already 124 horsepower. It is only a two-wheel drive, which kind of is not the best. We're going to leave Trelleborg on. I don't know if that is a European style tire or an Eastern Bloc tire, but I don't really know what an Eastern Bloc, aka Poland, what would be a good tire for that. I guess we could go Continental. We can go Midas. We can go BKT. Vredestein. You know what? We're gonna go Vredestein. That sounds a little like it might be Polish or Poland. So our wheel setup is going to be okay. So the Trelleborgs. Oh, do I have? Okay, so I see what I can do. Oh, I kind of like the John Deere. That's pretty cool. So I have the US mode, or you have, what do we have? Oh, so for John Deere we only have US mode. That's where those blue things must be like to attach rear wheels. Let's go back here to Trelleborg. Okay, so whatever those blue are in the center, they're like attachers. Yeah, standard EU, rear EU. Oh yeah, see, I see it attaches the second wheel. Standard US, rear twin US, standard, wide, rear twin, narrows. That kind of looks silly. Wheel weights, wide tires and weights for $3,000. Standard EU. So why don't we go up here? Let's just do the John Deere, which is standard US. Let's just, those are weird looking for this tractor. I don't like it. Looks like a pulling tractor. If anybody's familiar with the pulling tractors. So I think we're just going to go with standard US. We're going to leave that the same. Cabin style. Oh yeah, we definitely want a cabin for $400. Oh, I see the lights are changing up top. Um, Yeah, for 400, let's go with that one. I don't know what that one really changes, but we're going to go with that one. The front one. So this they wanted me $3,800 for this front mounting hitch, which we can get later, but for free, or for, yeah, we can do 60 kilograms, 240 kilograms, 400 kilograms. Why don't we go 400 kilograms? What's forestry do? Oh, yeah, we don't want forestry. And then, do we want a front load attacher? I don't see us needing that right now. Let's take the, you know what? Let's leave the plate on there, but just do the back plate. That'll give us a little more Poland-ish. Where's the plate at? Oh, about there. Oh, yeah, that's, I don't know what that is. WZA, DLOM. I don't know if that's, I think that's just random. So for $14,000, we're going to have ourselves a tractor. We definitely need a tractor. We'll probably have to get a trailer. And yep. So we haven't started the time yet, and we're gonna wait to start the time until I figure out what harvester I want to get. So we have $102,000, but we have those two fields that we're gonna get. We can do whatever we want with those crops. We can hold them until it's time to sell them at the best price, or we can sell it right away. Whatever we want to do. That MacDon header is just gonna be too big, I think. Yeah, 16 meters. That's not gonna work. Let's go legitimately to the store, wherever it's at, right down here. And I am not really a familiar person with European maps. I've dabbled, but I haven't really played them a whole lot. So it's going to be new to me. If it's new to you, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about this map. Let me know what you think about this challenge. Let me know what you think about me. Let me know what you think of how I'm doing this. I might go with that Massey because these are less, these hold less at 32,500, and this one even maxed out holds more. You can make it a cabin. Yeah, you can make it a cabin. You can go with the big extension, two big extensions, all the way up to 3,500 liters. Yeah, we can change our colors, but we don't really need to do that. We can go with our Michelins or BKTs. Michelin or BKTs. I like Michelin's better. Why does he even have a wheel set up? So it must just be a default thing that comes up from the modder. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna go with the Michelin's again. We're not gonna change the colors. And the back only on the license plate. I guess this is what we're gonna do. I didn't really want to, but everybody uses it. I know why now, because it's the cheapest and it's got the most capacity, 3,500 liters, which is better. Let's just double check. But see, also we have to work on a potato harvester too. All right, since we don't have the time going yet, let's do that. Let's go down to root crops. Beet, potato planter. Oh my, I didn't even think about a planter. Potato technology. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. What is that? The harvester digs potatoes out of the ground. Digs potatoes out of the ground. So they're going to dig them out of the ground and then we got to go pick them up. Oh, this is going to be so challenging. Why would you pay RK22L? No, but it costs me 10 grand more for it and I get less capacity. I'm going to have to do some offline on this. I have no idea. What's the silver edition do? Add silver to it? Okay. I have no idea, but we are in a lot of trouble for harvesting potatoes and planting potatoes. Oh my goodness. What's a potato planter? Oh my goodness. We cannot lease these either. Oh my gosh. What are these? 3 meters? I don't know what the difference is. This one does fertilizer. for that much more just to do fertilizer. We could spread fertilizer as slow as this thing's going to go. 3 meters, needs 150 horsepower, which we don't even have. So potatoes is going to, oh my gosh, we have pigs and potatoes. What a challenge. What a challenge. Okay, well, no sense in worrying about that. No sense in crying over spilt milk. Let's control what we can control. All right, so let me buy that. And we need to go to, that's the header that comes with it. All right, let's just buy this header and be done with it. I'm not worried about changing the design color. We'll leave it the same color. Now let's get in this harvester and we will attach the header. The nice thing is it's a nice small header, so we'll be able to drive with it back to the fields. Let's get some of this stuff off here. We do have precision farming on, which is what Zorch started with, so that's what I'm going to do. Which I'm pretty familiar with precision farming. It's lifted. Alright, I will see you back at the farm because I have no idea where I'm going. Or if I have to drive on the left or the right side of the road. Okay, we are back up to our field. This is our field right here, and this is mustard. So I don't know what mustard is. I know Zorch was talking about it, but while I do this video, I'm going to look up all there is to know about mustard. And I know there's mustard catch crop as well. Looks like there's weeds and stuff in here. We don't have any of the field information. Should we get the field information? Let's see. Yeah, we should. I forgot. So we're in precision farming, so we're going to have to get our field information. So let's go do that. Let's purchase our field information. It shouldn't be too much. So we do have loam, which is good. What are we going to have over here? Hopefully, so the way the pattern's going, it looks like we're going to have some loam, and so this one might be better. Let's bite the bullet here. Okay, good. So we kind of make up for it on this one. Not so good on this one. And now all of a sudden we went from 50% down to 42, or 50 field score to 42 field scores. So that's good. That's a positive. All right, let me get back in this harvester. We're going to get going on the harvesting. There was one of those, I cannot figure that out. So I'm using a controller. I have the keyboard and mouse that I use as well. And I have a steering wheel. I don't use the steering wheel except for a few of the keyboard functions on it. Unless I get real spicy and want to play on the steering wheel. Let's get in here so you can hear me a little bit better. So my question is, does anyone know? I've looked it up 100 ways, 100 times. I've tried all kinds of different mods, conflicts. It's a new controller, so it's not stick drift. It's not any of those things, unless, you know, PlayStation controllers just magically have stick drift as soon as you take them out of the box. But I get this spinning every once in a while. It's definitely some sort of conflict of some sort. I just can't figure it out if it's a mod conflict or if it's a key binding conflict. I can't figure it out. It's annoying. Sometimes it just does it. Sometimes it just does it randomly. You just saw it do it kind of right there. But anyway, let's get this field started. We'll get into a couple time lapses on it here. Might as well do, we gotta get some straw swap. We have a straw swap going. Why am I not seeing straw swap? Not the right way. I think we got straw swap already going here. Yeah, we do. Which means we're also gonna have to buy a baler. What am I hitting? I'm hitting that telephone pole. Steering assist on, might as well do 2 headlands. So I did get a good chance to drive the map here, as the store was all the way at the bottom, down by 239 if you can see it. Way down at the bottom middle. And I had to drive all the way over to my field, which took me roughly 5 minutes. It's a nice map. Nice map. A lot of small fields, a lot of that kind of stuff. Turn all this off. Let you see what's going on here. It's going to fill up fast, so it's going to be nice time lapse of me going up and getting the tractor, driving back with the trailer, so you can see a little bit of the map. If you haven't already seen it, if you're watching Zorch and anybody else taking on the challenge, you already know what the map looks like. But for those who haven't, you'll get to see it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get a, well, let's do this first here. We gotta go and set our settings. We've gotta turn the time on. We're gonna do it at 3 times right now. Hopefully that'll give us plenty of time to get these fields done and maybe get a contract in. Because we're gonna wipe our money out by getting a baler. Yeah, I think we need to get a baler. It's gonna be a lot of crops. It's almost a total of 10 acres between the 2 fields. And they're both going to produce straw because I did watch Zorch harvest both of these. They both produce straw, so it's going to be a lot of straw for... Pretty sure he said you couldn't put the straw in the silo right there. So we are going to have to purchase a trailer. We're gonna have to purchase a baler, and those are probably gonna be at least 10 grand each, if not more. I think the one baler that I'm thinking of, the John Deere baler, square baler is 12 grand. And honestly, I'm not really sure on trailers. I'm gonna have to see what we got. So we will run this until, why is that not, oh, it's missing the crop. I don't like that. That's the base game GPS too. That tree must have affected it. That's fine, we'll run down here until we get to the end, and then we will look at it on the next one here. So I have a lot of the mods that I normally use in any of my series, or anything that I do when I play. I usually do a speed override. Following along with the rules of these fellas here, so I know they don't like to use those a lot. So when I do these challenges that follow along with them, I try to play with like them. I want to play like them. So in the 1 tile challenge, this one and the trust dues, I won't be using any of the speed overrides. A lot of the other things that are in there, the free terraforming and all that, painting, none of that'll be free, so I'll have to be very careful when I go to fix up my yard, put tracks and paths and stuff in. I'll have to make sure that I'm very dainty on the buttons so that I don't overextend myself. Made a 1 pass around. Headland. As you can see up in the top left corner, our yield is pretty low. We'll go to the, let's see, let's go to the map overall. Yeah, I think when we get up into that loam, see it turns yellow, which puts us up higher in the 70s maybe, I think. I don't know, we'll see when we go by it, but yeah, this is the worst ground here, so we're going to have to lime these, and we're going to have to fertilize these, and we're still going to get only, what is it, 80, 90% I think is the max you can get. That's this whole field pretty much is going to be old. low yielding field. Which means we need to kind of think about a high yielding crop for next season. Which we're going to really consider. Oh boy, we're going to have to get a seeder. As well, we're going to have to get fertilizing and lime equipment. Lime and fertilizer. Boy, we're going to, I mean, the money is going to drop, so we're definitely going to have to get a contract in this episode, which means I am going to put this down to 2 times because we have a lot of work to do. This might be a 2 episode. This will definitely be a 2 episode month. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. I was kind of holding off on the time lapse on this one because I was going to get this filled up, but the yield is so low that it's not doing it. So yeah, see, we're up to 88%. So I think the yellow, oh yeah, so this is a little higher yielding here. So I think the yellow gives you that max 90, and then the loam should be up to 125%. But as you can see, the condition of this field is not so that we're getting that. Probably has weeds and everything else in it. Thought I saw that when we were looking at it, but it's hard to tell because I don't really know mustard. Alright, well, without further ado, because of the length of this video so far, we're going to go ahead and listen to a time lapse. You're going to see me run over and get the trailer, purchase a trailer. Might have to edit some of that out if I don't like what I'm seeing. And see you when we come back.
From a time and place as far away on a sea of these epiphanies, on the moors of us, on the backs of love, where the shadows fell all by itself. I'm reaching out, oh, I'm reaching for you, where I've held my doubt, oh, I still adore you. Ghost of my heart, ghost of my heart. Do we stay the same when we hesitate? Fall into place or fall away? Wanna hold you up so high above all that we want, but never was. I'm reaching out, oh, I'm reaching for you. I'm here without dive off the deep end, deep end. No, I don't need a reason, lose control. Pour me a glass, I toss it back. Forget responsibility. It's hard to be 23 and don't know what's in front of me. Sleep is for the dead, not looking for comfort. Rather be a wreck than just be another. Plus it's better that wheels will do anything to feel like I'm not growing up. Sleep is for the dead, not looking for comfort. Rather be a wreck than just be another. Plus it's better that wheels will do anything to feel like I'm not growing up. Wake up, it's a Monday morning. Life really shouldn't be so boring. Nothing is really that important, just let go. Pour me a glass, I toss it back, forgetting my reality. It's hard to be 23 and don't know what's in front of me. Sleep is for the dead, not looking for comfort. Rather be a wreck than just be another. Plus it's better that wheels will do anything to feel like I'm not growing up. Sleep is for the dead, not looking for comfort. Rather be a wreck than just be another. Plus it's better that wheels will do anything to feel like I'm not growing up. Sleep is for the dead, not looking for comfort. Rather be a wreck than just be another. Plus it's better that wheels will do anything to feel like I'm not growing up. Sleep is for the dead, not looking for comfort. Rather be a wreck than just be another. Plus it's better that wheels will do anything to feel like I'm not growing up.
All right, everyone, as we come out of our very long two-field time lapse, we're back in here to wrap this up with our last basically 4 passes. We'll go back to this view here. See what our field map looks like. Yeah, look at that. It's all pretty solid, been in the 80s, except when we get into that sandy loam. But anyway, let's get that map off of here. And we'll back out just a little bit. All right, so when we get to the next pass, we're going to go look and see what kind of baler we're going to buy. We're going to buy a baler. It's something that we're going to have. And we're going to look contracts. See, it's only 9:46, 9:45. We'll be done with this at around 10 o'clock game time. So we'll have plenty of time to complete at least the contract, if not 2. We'll have to see what's available. Let's get set up on this path. Forgot to strap better. Oh, turned it off. Hit the wrong buttons there. Alright, we got that set up. Let's take a quick look at what's available in the used market. First off, there shouldn't be anything more. Well, yeah, I think that. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's a vegetable harvester. So that's just for beets, carrots, and parsnips. Doesn't help us out any. And that harvest header, I have to keep that in mind. Forestry mulcher. Okay, we need to go look at baler square. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with one of these. 12 grand. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be one of those. We're going to go with the square balers. So it's going to be one of those three. I don't know which one we're going to go. We got a John Deere tractor, so we might as well. Let's check the horsepower ratings. If you saw in the time lapse when I bought the trailer, I specifically went for a little shorter of the extensions because I knew we were going to struggle with this horsepower, and we are struggling just with this trailer being full. How much we got room we got left in there? We should be able to get this whole load out here. We'll dump it and then we'll come back and we'll finish our last 2.5 passes here. Nope, I think there's still some left in the harvester. Let's go dump this. I like the way that rye looks on this map. It's really cool. I don't know what kind of rye it is that they planted back when I used to live out in the country. I know they started planting rye because of our algae blooms in the lake, so they were using it as like a cover crop. I think they really ever harvested it. I know rye grew up really tall. It doesn't look like the same kind of rye as here. And I did look up mustard, and I watched a whole video on it somewhere in the United States. I didn't quite catch where they were at, but I quick watched it on my phone. It was like a 2-minute video from some farmer, like her dad and her. She looked like she was late 30s. He looked like he was late 50s, early 60s. But anyway, they grow mustard in the United States, mostly for yellow mustard or brown mustard. I guess there's 2 different kinds, colors of mustard seed. That's yep, it is the mustard you use. Canada is the biggest producer of mustard. I think they said Russia and Nepal, wherever Nepal is, I've heard of it. So, yeah, mustard is a thing. It's harvested with a combine harvester like we have with a grain header, and it is also, they say we're gonna go slow because it clogs up. I guess the pods clog it up, so it's got to go a little slower. But they harvest it around the same time as wheat, and I think according to a couple other things I read, that it grows in 6 weeks or something crazy like that. But it grows, it doesn't have the same as winter wheat where you gotta plant it in the winter and then you harvest it June or July. This is, I guess you plant in the spring. And wherever they were at, I didn't quite catch that. I wish I would have caught where they were at. They harvest it, they rotate it with wheat and potatoes. So maybe they're out in Idaho somewhere. But I did see that North Dakota is our biggest producer in the United States of mustard. So, a little history on mustard there for you. Even if you didn't want to know it, and you stuck around this long and you heard about mustard, leave that comment in leave that in the comments that you heard my explanation of mustard, how it's grown, when it's grown, where it's grown, what it's used for. Alright, we got one more pass. We're going to use that baler. We were going to look at contracts, so when we're coming up this pass, we'll look at contracts. And we will wrap it up because we are a long video. We're going to have a long time lapse in there. It's going to be a little longer as we get into that other part. Again, I don't know what it's going to look like in the edit. That'll be for the editing person, which by the way is me. And we're going to have to decide what crops we want to get in here. But again, we're going to be, oh wow, look at that. I predicted we're going to be at 10 a.m. game time, and we are going to be. So let's go to contracts. What do we got available in contracts? We can use their equipment, so we don't need to have our baler. And I believe we're on hard economy, so these are going to be our higher. These are going to be all right. Well, we don't have a fertilizer yet, so let's keep off of that. I don't think we want to do any harvesting because might just go with that baling. We got mowing, but we can use their equipment. That might be again, the equipment though is going to be all the way down at the bottom, so we want to maybe think about where some of these are going to be at. I don't want to do wood transport, so we're not going to do that. Oh, we ran out of room in our harvester. All right. I guess I didn't anticipate that. I have the mod on there that stops the harvester for just such instances like that, so I don't run over the crop when I have crop destruction on. So that was our saving grace there. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll do the baling contracts, and in doing so, I think there's a limit on how many contracts you can do in a day. I think you can only do 3 a month, which is great. So we might do 3 baling contracts, and we'll get the full amount because we'll probably use our baler. We'll buy the baler. Oh no, so yeah, we'll have to pay attention because they got to be square bales. I think they're specific to so let's see, a square bale. Oh, those are all round bales, so we might have to borrow to get the bigger contracts. We might have to borrow a round baler. So we'll figure that out in the next episode. Let's get this finished up. And that way we can end the episode. The sooner we end the episode, the sooner I can get it editing, the sooner I can get this put out. So I want to say thank you all for watching. If you've watched this far, please drop a subscription, a like, and again, comment in the comment section, and I will get back to you on any and all comments you have. Let's go pick up the tractor here, unload this. Hope you liked our start so far on the Triple Threat Challenge. Hope you like the fact that I have potatoes and pigs, probably two of the things that those are probably two of the crops that I do not want at all. At all. Or two of the threats that I do not want. Let's go dump this in. See what our total is of rye and mustard. Mustard is kind of lower yielding. Rye was a little higher yielding. It's more like a wheat or a barley, I guess. We got 33,000, 11,000 in mustard total, and 33,000 in rye right now. 36,000 rye. Max value of 12,000. Thanks, Hard Economy. Holy cow. Alright, we don't have any barns to park our stuff in. But anyway, while I get these all sorted out here where I decide I want to park them at on one of these pads, I appreciate you guys all for checking out my videos, and thanks very much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one.